What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm eBike Builder, and in this video I want to talk about e-bike group rides. Not necessarily just e-bike group rides, but also just kind of like electric group rides in general, right? So this is kind of like a trend that's gaining popularity. This is something that people do as they go on these rides. They plan out these events. They're called group rides, and so everybody gets together with their electric vehicles and they all get together as a group and go for a ride together, right? So we've got some footage here from a YouTube channel that I watch sometimes, Loophole Culture. He's got a lot of different group rides on his channel from in the past. This is one from LA E-Skate. So it started out as like an e-skateboard thing in LA. But e-bikes, and I think those EUC things and like one wheels and stuff, all different kinds of electric vehicles go to these things, right? So y'all meet up, then everybody starts riding around, um, and so it's kind of an interesting thing to me. It's an interesting thing. It's like it does seem like there's things about it that appeal to me, and I want to hear your thoughts on these electric group rides in the comments. But in this video, I'm going to kind of just share my opinions and my thoughts about these. And then I'm hoping you can leave your comments and we can all talk about it in the comments section. But so how I feel about this is like it seems like it could be fun to go to these things. But so I guess one concern is kind of like it's a lot of people, right? So let me know what you think about that. Just like all of the people. There's so many people and they all group up together, right? And stand by. Yeah, so there's just a lot of people in the streets. I mean, kind of like crowding the streets, really. And it's just kind of wild because when you've got cars, it's just kind of like one car per lane. But then when you've got all of these various electric vehicles of different sizes and stuff, there's just like 20, there's like 3 people stacked in a lane, and it kind of just looks like a big mob of people like standing in the middle of everything, and it is. Like it's so it looks like it could be fun, but at the same time it looks like it could potentially obstruct traffic. I've kind of got mixed thoughts on group rides in general, and that's like I've been thinking about doing this video for a while, and I was just on the fence about group rides, and I still want to like go and check them out sometime. I think it would be cool. We're gonna talk about that. I haven't been able to find group rides near me, but at the same time, there's things about these rides that potentially seem questionable, potentially illegal, often dangerous, not necessarily something that I would even want to be involved in. So we'll talk about that as well. It's just kind of like etiquette and like what should the rules be for group rides and stuff. So let's get this going. So we're on a group ride here in Dylan Loophole Culture's video. But so one thing that I've noticed is there's kind of a divide between you've got like these kind of electric group rides, and then this is like my local bike shop. Let's get me out of the way. This is my local bike shop group ride right here. Right? So I mean, here we've got like the pedal boys. That's what I call these people that wear all like the like traditional cyclists. I call them pedal boys, but they're usually wearing some kind of a spandex and some kind of like a jersey that makes it look like they're in a race. Just like every time they get on their bike, they're on a race somewhere, and they've got like sponsors and all these like brands and things on their jerseys and stuff. And it's always like a road bike, like those like I mean it makes sense. Like if you're pedaling a bike, you want it to be like a lightweight bike, right? So I get why they do it, but it's just like I know it's not something that I ever got into personally. The tights and all of like the gear and like bikes. I'm not really into bike snob. Like I kind of despise bike snobs. I'm not into it. I think that everybody should just ride whatever bike they want to ride. That's fun for them to ride, and just not judge everybody else's soul based on what brand of bike they're riding. But it does seem like a lot of traditional cyclists kind of, they spend a lot of money on their gear, and then they kind of like, it's kind of like their identity is attached to their bike and to their fitness levels, and all of it is like intricately, it's like all like one thing, like their bike and being in shape and like a cyclist and pedaling hard and wearing the spandex, and like it's like a package, and I just like, it's like all or nothing. It's like you're either in the club or you're not, or something like that, and I don't know. You guys will have to let me know. Like, any of you guys do this? I just have a feeling that a lot of e-bikers probably like aren't welcome at those places, right? And that it would just like these kind of people, they just want to go with other people who are kind of doing the same thing, right? I think that's a big part of it. It's kind of like a, there is like a, I think there's a competitive nature to it for a lot of people, even when you're just going on casual rides, where like it's tied to your fitness level and like a skill level, and there's a lot going on with these cyclists. A lot of them have been doing it for a long time. Like, you don't see a lot of like young, I like, when I was growing up, I never had a lot of friends that were cyclists, or like knew a lot of like, I've never known of like younger people that were like wearing the spandex and doing this. Really, it always kind of seems like it's, I don't know, like a seasoned bike head kind of thing, where you're like, it's something that you kind of grow into, but it's just kind of like a certain demographic, and it seems entirely separate from over on the right, e-bike group rides. And so like it's this thing, and it's tricky because like I can't. It's, first of all, like, you got all these different types of e-bikes, right, and different electric vehicles, and so it's like, and so one challenge of group rides, whether it's electric bikes or whether it's normal bikes, is that like the pacing of the ride, and like making sure that everybody can keep up. Like, different people are all trying to travel at different speeds, right? And so now with e-bikes, we've got different classifications of e-bikes. Whereas class 1, 20 miles an hour, pedaling only. Class 2 is same thing but throttle only. And then class 3 can go 28. But then a lot of people a lot of people ride around e-bikes that can go faster than 28, that are technically not even legally considered e-bikes. And there's a lot of like companies that sell e-bikes, that can go faster than 28. So it's not even like, there's kind of like companies and businesses selling e-bikes that don't follow the rules, and it's been kind of like a gray area loophole for a while now. But it seems like things are going to start to kind of like crack down potentially here. But it seems like the pacing of group rides is kind of challenging, and you guys will have to let me know in the comments, like, if you were gonna plan a group ride, how would you organize these events? How do you think that would work best? Like, should these group rides, I don't know. I mean, with with traditional bicycles, um I think like sometimes they kind of categorize the rides, and some of them are like, based on the difficulty of the ride, or like the intensity of the ride, like strenuous, relaxed, moderate, brisk. And some rides will be drop rides, and some rides, everybody waits around for everybody, and everybody stays together in a group, and nobody gets left behind, right? So there's like drop rides where people get dropped behind that are going too slow. Those are like the pedal boys. So like the slow fatties will get left behind and dropped. And then, there's kind of like more casual rides where nobody gets left behind, right? So it seems like it seems like on e-bikes, like the slower e-bikes would probably just get like dropped, unless, because when you're on an e-bike, like everybody just like, look at over here on the right. And I'm sure like this whole time it's been very distracting to me because like it just seems potentially dangerous, and just like splitting lanes. This is California, so you can split lanes there. It's crazy to me because I live in Wisconsin, but this is legal in California to be splitting in between lanes like this on bikes. There are rules to it, but I mean, look, so you'll just have to let me know in the comments, like, would you go to a group ride like this? What do you think about this? And then so like what would be like the best pacing? To me it seems like you'd probably want to say like 25 miles an hour, like 30 miles an hour or something. Kind of like keep it e-bike speeds so that people, cuz I mean, and it seems like a lot of these group rides, like if you go to these group rides, you look at these, like a lot of these bikes are beyond class 3. Like they're going a lot faster. They're just like, they're going faster than 30 miles an hour a lot of the time at these group rides. You can see the people riding around here. It's Surons. I mean, let's just take an inventory here. It looks to be about half Surons and like bombers. Like this thing might have pedals, but look at it, it's not an e-bike at all. I mean, it's like it's like uh so I mean, we all kind of knew deep down that we were only going to get away with slapping pedals on motorcycles and calling them e-bikes for so long, and we're kind of like at the tipping point here, and you have to pick a side. And one side is kind of like not doing a great thing for e-bikes, you know. So I mean, I'm kind of like, if e-bikes are 30 miles an hour, as long as I don't need like a license and registration and insurance and all that bullshit, like I can deal with like 30 miles an hour. That's all you really need for like riding around town and stuff. I mean, it's fun to go faster, slightly faster. 30, 40 miles an hour isn't too bad, but beyond that, I mean, if when you start going like 50 plus miles an hour, you don't really want to be on bicycle components, and you need full suspension, and like you don't really want bicycle rims and tires and like 14 gauge spokes, bike spokes. Like when you start going faster, in many countries across the world, like your vehicle is just based, like if it's going faster than 30 miles an hour, it's not an e-bike, it's a motorcycle. Like it's based on the speed, right? Like that's how it works in some places. And I think here, if it came down to it and you got pulled over on an e-bike going like 50 miles an hour, like if they wanted to, you know, impound it and do whatever they wanted, they could, right? So, I mean, it's just kind of like an observation here is that a lot of these aren't e-bikes. And this is even like 3 years ago, this video. I was trying to go back and find one where it was actually going to look like e-bikes still. But what has kind of happened is like, and it looks like even back then, most of these are not e-bikes, right? And if they are e-bikes, they look like Super 73s, or like, I mean, they're like the e-bikes that look more like, like motorcycles. Like most of these things don't really like, they look like more like a dirt bike or a motorcycle than a bicycle, right? So it's kind of a crazy thing, electric vehicles, especially these group rides. I mean, it's cool. Like it would be very cool to go to these and check it out. But it seems like group ride organizers almost have to kind of like plan them out, with potentially with law enforcement and like the city. If like these group rides are big enough, it seems like, just off the top of my head, I mean, it seems like, I don't know if there are any laws existing, but it seems like if you're in big enough of a pack of people, riding around like this, oftentimes these things, like, they're not really like following the traffic rules. Like, they'll just go through red lights and everybody just keeps going through the red light in a big mob, and it's kind of like illegal and not following traffic laws how they ride. So it seems like I could potentially see like cities having laws where it's like you can't ride around in groups bigger than X or something, because it's just like seems like it can get out of hand so easily, where like all these electric vehicles are just filling the streets and kind of like impeding traffic and frustrating drivers and all that. And I would say like there's often like there's some crazy crashes at these group rides sometimes. It's like, so I mean it looks like a lot of fun. I want to try it out. Um but it also looks potentially risky and illegal sometimes, depending on who you're riding with. Have let me know in the comments, have you guys gone on any e-bike group rides, or like how many people would you want to ride with, or what kind of rules would you want to see at e-bike group rides? So I was kind of like looking through I was trying to find e-bike group rides near me, and it seems like you kind of have to, it seems like e-bikes like these ones on my screen right now in this video, it seems like e-bikes like this probably would not fit in with traditional like bike clubs like this, like at this bike shop, right? So if I was just to go to a local bike shop, like this is the group ride. I don't know, like I don't know if they have. I don't think they have e-bike group rides. I think there's just like these are the people that ride bikes where I live, and they're all wearing spandex. I don't know. So like I don't think, like imagine one of these guys from over on the right trying to bring their e-bike to this group ride over on the left. Like I don't think that jives. Like I think these things are kind of like two separate things. And so e-bike electric, it's kind of like electric group rides kind of have to be like a separate thing, really. And I think potentially depending on your bike, like if your bike is actually like looks like a bike and you can pedal it and it has gears and you could like kind of fit in at one of these normal kind of like cycling rides, I think you could maybe potentially, like maybe you would potentially be accepted. But my general experience as an e-biker, and all of my historical interactions with these pedal boys has just like not been good. Basically, I don't know any other way to put it. So I'm kind of scared to show up at one of these things. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that anytime soon, or in the spandex and stuff. But it's so hard. It seems like there's more of those established, like the traditional cycling clubs that go a little bit slower, right? When I'm looking around, it seems like there's more of those available, right? So I was looking here at this Minneapolis bike clubs, because nearby me, like Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities area is kind of like the local urban center. And so I was this seems to be one of the kind of like places where people organize different kind of like normal cycling rides. And so it seems like there's different categories here. There's different types of riding, right? Based on like mountain biking, or like a social ride, or a training ride, family ride. And there's even this FTW. Can you see this, what I'm talking about here? There's even this FTW category. And I was like, what is that? FTW. What is that? And so I clicked on it. What's going on here? So then when you click on it, so FTW rides are femi, trans, and women. So that's kind of interesting. So I looked at that, and I was looking at this, so it's like, this is something else. So if you go look at some of these, this is just presented without comment, guys. I was like looking at some of these, and it was like, so here's grease rag. It encourages and empowers FTW. So I don't know. This is a whole new like acronym that I guess there's a whole new acronym for all of this. So FTW cyclists, and it says FTW does not include cis men who benefit from cis male privilege. So I guess I can't even go to the grease rag. What the heck, man? I thought this is all about inclusion. But it's only people who are not cis men benefiting from cis male privilege. So I can't go to the grease rag, and there's this whole category of rides dedicated to that. So what about mountain biking? So I'm not even allowed there in FTW rides. I'm excluded. Exclusionary rides. But yeah, so I mean, there's like mountain biking group rides, but like now, man, this is like a topic of discussion for a whole different video. But mountain bike people are kind of like a whole different breed of the pedal boys, and from what I've seen, like it's almost worse. Like if you're not accepted by the mountain bikers, like they're even more vicious than the salty roady pedal boys. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. But I think that like unless you're actually on a mountain bike, like you're not bringing an e-bike to one of these things, and I don't even know if they let me bring my, like I don't even know if I could go, right, on like a literal e-bike that has a do-it-yourself motor on it. Like I don't know if they would accept that. is the vibe that I'm getting when you're out at the mountain bike trails. Even if you intentionally buy a mountain bike and build it up as a legal mountain bike, and then you go out there, like it's still like this do-it-yourself abomination to these kind of people. So it's like, I don't know if e-bikes can go here unless you've got a $5,000 track or something like that. A lot of these people probably don't have e-bikes either. It's probably just normal mountain bikes. And that's a whole different topic of discussion, is like mountain bike trails and the whole like normal bikes versus e-bikes at mountain biking trails. That's like a whole war field, a whole war zone of debate. And like we're not even going to go there. But it's like a lot of this normal bike stuff, like electric things, like you can't go. Like maybe some of like these basic ones, like the social ones, or like a family one or something like that, like. But man, for the most part, it seems like electric people need to find their own electric rides, or else you have to like really be on an actual bicycle where you can kind of go along with all this normal bike stuff, but on an e-bike that's an actual bicycle. Right? So like I was looking at different Facebook groups trying to find group rides near me. I found this one ride where it's they have like a DJ, and he goes on this like electric bike thing, and there's like a DJ getting hauled on this electric trike or something, and it's just like a DJ ride is what they call it, and there's like music and stuff, and then I think they stop and like dance and stuff. So I don't know. I'm just looking around at what's going on here. So then I was looking at Twin Cities Bicycling Club, and so they talk about the different e-bike categories and ride etiquette and stuff, pacing with other riders, special e-bike laws. So it seems like ride leaders are not responsible for determining if a rider is riding an e-bike or what class of e-bike they may be riding. So it seems like the ride leaders have the authority to, speak with any rider on a group ride, whether on an e-bike or not, if in the ride leader's judgment they feel the rider is compromising the safety of themselves or others on the ride. So it seems like it's, and then so, yeah, it seems like something where it's kind of like a tricky thing. And so I was looking just locally. Let's get another e-bike group ride going here. What else do we have? So here's one. So this one's from Shalver Films. I mean, they got 75 people here. There's scooters, there's e-bikes. I saw an Onyx back there, e-skateboard. So there's a lot of stuff. But yeah, so I was looking nearby, and it doesn't seem as popular by me. There's this one, like, there's somebody tried to start an MN e-skate, but it's got like 69 people in the group. It just doesn't seem very active. So it seems like in my area, the group rides haven't taken off as much. So there's a Minnesota Electric Riders public group. So I mean, this seems a little bit more like it than than that, but not a huge group, and it's like a whole statewide thing. Minnesota, right? Minnesota's a big state, so it looks like there's a ride this Wednesday, June 4th, Harriet Island at St. Paul. So I mean, it seems like there's some small rides nearby me that you could potentially go to, but the problem with small rides is that it's one of those things where you're not sure if it's just like some crackheads organized it and they're just gonna like try and rob you in St. Paul or or what, you know, like Minneapolis and St. Paul are a little bit different than Los Angeles, like New York. I guess it's probably closer to New York. Oh, here's the DJ ride. So I wonder if they have any videos or anything about this. No. Joyful Riders Club. So like here's one that I found. It's got 2,000 people. I think it's kind of nearby in St. Paul or something. Twin Cities. I don't know if all of it's for me, but I mean, it seemed like there are some more casual rides where people just kind of go and chill and cruise around slowly on bikes. I think a lot of e-bikers find going slow kind of like boring, and most electric people would probably rather kind of move at a little bit faster pace than these normal bike things. But it's potentially an option for people who aren't speed demons, who just kind of want to like go socialize and meet people. Personally, I think I would probably want to go a little bit faster on like an electric specific group ride. So you'll have to let me know. Have you gone to one of these group rides? What do you think about these? And then so like how do you think that they should work? It seems like the organizer of a group ride has like kind of like an important responsibility. And it's one of those things where like even if the organizer tells somebody like, "Hey, this is just for e-bikes and that isn't an e-bike, so you're not allowed." I mean, it's not like you can physically like drag Sir out of there. Like how do you stop people from coming along that are like, not on e-bikes, right? So one other thing I've seen is when there's like people riding around on like gas bikes, and then a whole bunch of like different kind of like e-motorcycle people try and ride with them. Is that the gas bike people tell the e people to like go away and we don't want to ride with you, and it's like this whole kind of like tribalism thing where like you have to find your little group and your tribe that you're a part of and you're accepted in, and you have to go ride with them and everybody else shuns you. I don't know. Let me know what you think, guys, about these group rides in the comments. It's the whole point of this video, is I want to see what you guys think about this. If you guys attend any of these group rides, Would you like to see me go to a group ride and potentially get mugged in St. Paul by a crackhead who organized it? Have you gone to a normal pedal boy group ride and worn the spandex? You have to let me know how that went, and let me know if an e-bike would be accepted or if they'd be shunned. And that's about it, guys, for this video. I just wanted to talk about group rides, get your thoughts and your opinions. It seems like it could be fun, a fun way to meet people. Be a lot of fun to ride around in a group ride, and especially someplace like this out in California. It could be a lot of fun, but I think that it also should probably be done in a legal, safe, organized manner that doesn't impede traffic and involve people riding, wheeling surons down the sidewalks and stuff like that, right? Let me know what you think in the comments. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace out, bubs. I'll see you guys next time on the E-Bike Builder channel. Later.